Welcome to the Fight Farsons podcast. I am Matone, Uncle Fox, and tonight I'm going to play an audio recording I did at the MMIP Conference in Sacramento, California on February 3rd of this year. In this episode, I'm speaking with Florence Moran, the mother of James Homer Wright, also known as Little Man, and his aunt Virginia, Ginger Mike. James was an enrolled member of the Pit River tribe from the Ajumawi band. He was born on August 2nd, 1969, and was raised in Redding, California. Now, on or around November 23rd, 1988, James left a family member's home to ride his bike to a nearby store, and he never came back. His case remains open and unresolved. Before I say anything more, I want you to hear directly from his mother. Here is Florence.
From what my cousin told me, that he had it was like a robbery in the back street there, right next to the Greyhound bus depot in Redding, and they were walking through the alleyway from the bus depot, and two girls jumped them.
Okay.
And wanted everything they had.
And what city was this in?
Huh?
Where was it at?
In Redding.
Okay.
Redding, California.
Okay.
And from there, well, my son had a girlfriend, and so, I guess feared for their lives, or, because they just hopped off the bus, and they were going to go through that alley and across the street to my niece's house when those two girls jumped them and wanted what money they had and whatever they had on them. And so she whipped out her little knife, some kind of knife, I think it's a stiletto or some kind of knife, and she just started cutting the girls up.
Oh, wow.
Because she said they were not going to do that to them. And after that, well, they got the threats that their brothers, their uncles, cousins were going to get them both, and they're going to get rid of them, kill them. Well, my son put his girlfriend, turned around, put her back on the bus for Santa Rosa. He says, "I don't want you here. It was, you better just go."
So he's looking out for her.
Yeah. So he sent her back. I think she was like a couple months pregnant at the time, and so he sent her back to Santa Rosa. He just came from Santa Rosa.
Oh,
too.
really? Oh, my God.
So he seen her off, and then he went back over there where my niece stays, and maybe about a week or maybe a week and a half, sure enough, these guys were on the lookout, and I guess one of the girls or both of the girls were with them and pointed him out. So he was on a bike, and he kept going, dodging them, and all the way around Redding that he had to go. And one day, me and my husband went down. It was happening, I think, the day before Thanksgiving, in November. And I said, "Hey, there's Little Man." So I zipped down because I seen him hit an alley. It was right next to a great big huge parking lot. So I went down the alley there and honked the horn. Yeah. He stopped and he saw me, and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm trying to dodge these people." I said, "Well, throw your bike in the back. Let's go have dinner." Mm. So we went to a smorgasbord where they serve, everything. Yeah. So we had dinner, and my husband gave him money, and I gave him money because he wanted to go on a bus and go to this long pole logging training camp.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so he could get a certificate. Mm-hmm. So that's what he had planned to do the following Monday. And so I said, okay. And so, so we had our dinner, visited a little while, and then took him back over to my niece's house, and we left. And it's about, 70 miles north of Redding, where I live. And he remained in Redding because he's staying with my niece down here. And my cousin Vern had a office that he would set young people up, or, for education, or on a job training program, and I think he was working with the CIMC too at the time.
Okay.
And so he called, because my son left everything there with him. He didn't want to have it on him, and he was going to leave, but he didn't go there to pick up his stuff, his identification, and he had an envelope of pictures, and there was some clothing, and he called, but my cousin Vern called me and told me I needed to go down there, and so I told him I would come down the following morning, and so me and my mother went down and to Reading to that office, and then the Vern gave me his identification and other paperwork and certificates that he had, and the pictures. He had all his pictures of when he was a little kid all the way up.
They had it on him.
Yeah. So I was lucky to have those pictures because I went through them, and I never really looked at the ID until I was ready to go do a DNA back in November? November.
Last year.
And it took me a while because of other things that happened in the family, and I lost my grandson due to getting hit and run thing, and so I had to put things off, and it took almost a couple months just to go through that because they had to do an investigation with the coroner and everything, and so that it took so long, and finally had the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just put it off for a while because of my sorrow, how I felt because of my grandson, and I didn't have time to mourn because I had to be the strong person for my other grandchildren and comfort them and be strong for them and hold my tears. And then when everything was over with, then I took the time off for myself and mourned. So then when I started feeling better inside, I decided I better finish what I started. So Bam Bam's always been there for me, with me, all this time, and introduced me to people to start doing things. And one of the things was because we went to, I didn't know what the case number was with Shasta County Sheriff. Find out it was in the jurisdiction of the Reading Police Department. So we went to Reading Police Department in Jeremiah and Bam Bam and did a DNA questions and pictures, and from there we've been trying to keep in contact with them down there to see if they found anything, or trying to just keep update. And that's where it's been all this time. But it's been, like I said, almost 40 years.
And stuff's been reported, never went anywhere.
Yeah.
Never went anywhere. And when you question this and that, we did come down to the last conference in Sacramento, and they did an interview there with her also too, and trying to get the DNA stuff taken care of. And it's been like crazy because it's like Shasta County just dropped it, and they do that more so when it's Native people. If it's Native people, they just disappeared.
Yeah.
They'll come back.
We have other Native people up there. It's just like with Nick Patterson. We have Lester Knowlton. We have Amanicha. We have the Turner girl. We have unsolved and cold cases that's never been taken care of through within our tribe, but we do carry that with our hearts, because there's a lot of my relatives.
Yeah.
And people that I cared about.
So your son is unresolved and never been found.
No.
See, when I first did this, it was with Shasta County Sheriff's Department, because my school friend that I went to school with, I always call him my brother, he did the reporting of missing person. And I told him, I just don't know. How can I tell you whether somebody abducted him or murdered him, or I just don't know.
Yeah, and there's no suspects or no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, only thing I was hearsay. I said his last encounter was with two girls, and he got threatened. So I don't know how that's going to go, but Rick's retired now and been retired for like, 10, 15 years? I think so. And so, just put on the back burner.
Yeah.
And then to come down to it, one day I decided I'm going to call Shasta County Sheriff's Department down there now. So I picked up my phone. I called down here, talked to this detective, and he said, I will start it. I will start looking into this. He says, and I said, well, I don't really know who's got jurisdiction.
Right.
And come right down to it. Reading Police Department had the jurisdiction. That's when Bam Bam called me and said, hey, we need to go down to Reading and talk to this Reading Police Department detective. And I said, oh, okay. So I made that arrangements with and asked Ginger to take me down because she's been helping, taking me here and there, So we went to Reading Police Department and only find out he had a case number.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know it.
Yeah. Not told anything.
They had it where there was no contact. But they had his father, his father had the same name, James Homer Wright, but they didn't bother to look at the birth date. I told him, I said, how would you know? I said, that this old man, I said, that's his father, is my son. I said, my son his birth date's in 1969, and you guys got this guy who's probably born in 1942 or 1947.
But they told her that we spoke to him. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, if you spoke to him, how come they didn't contact?
Yeah.
Just
trying to brush that under the rug.
That kind of happened. That kind of happens in Shasta County, even in the jails. The jails, they lock our people up. I just went through that with my oldest son. They incarcerated him, and then I looked to see in the roster, see where he was at. Then he was gone, and they didn't tell. I didn't know if he was out about. Dead or alive, and I get a phone call, and they sent him down to Napa to the mental hospital, and it was weird because Shasta County don't tell you anything, or if I call down and ask, or you call and ask about your family members, they don't tell you. I get this phone call during lunch, and they're like, see, it came through, and I was like, who's this? Like, I answered him, like, he goes, Mom. I'm like, who the hell is this? He's like, it's me, Mom. I'm like, well, where the hell are you? So this is what we deal with in Shasta County with our native people, they don't keep in touch. They don't say nothing. They label them as different things. It's awkward because, my daughter was just a baby the last time I seen my nephew. He came up to see his new cousin because I'm only 4 or 5 years older than my nephew.
Yeah.
So he come to see family, and last time I seen him, it's just like wow.
Yeah.
It's just like
the time being, since the Reading Police Department had jurisdiction, the detective that I spoke to from Shasta County Sheriff's Department called them, and so she picked it up and got in contact with me the same day that the other detective was, he said, you better get on this, this woman's been searching for her son for a long, long time, what happened, is there a case number? Well, they had to take the time and look back all those years, and they found a case number where he was missing person.
Yeah.
And I said, my God. And I said, all these years, I said, never been contacted or anything. And I and I just was called me. It's like getting hit in the head with a big hammer. Like, I just didn't know what to think, you know. I was glad that I had my sister and Bam Bam with me, and then, you know, the apologies that I did get from Reading Police Department, from the detective, when she did find that number.
Yeah.
And so I have two numbers. I have one from Shasta County Sheriff. I have the RPD one that they brought back update, gave them all the information that, and pictures and descriptions. The last time they showed me pictures of tennis shoes that they had found, I guess, out in with a foot in it or something like that, and remains of somebody. And I looked at him and I said, sure, he wore Nike shoes, but he didn't wear his shoes the way they had. That shoes were laced up. They were high tops. Yeah. And I says, no. And so you know, the last time I saw him, he had a red shirt on and his Levi's. And he did wear Nike shoes, but he didn't have them laced the way those were laced. Yeah. And that was that's what I said. The last time I saw him, I said, I don't know what kind of clothes he had when Vern last saw him before he called me, let me know that he was missing, and wanted me to know if he could do the missing report too. And I said, go ahead. And that's like I told Rick, go ahead. But he was working with Shasta County Sheriff's Department. So all these years, and I was just hoping, and things happened. My husband passed away. I had to do a grieving counseling, and my counselor that I had, she had a dog that was a cadaver. I said, he could be up there buried in that old dump, and all these new houses are built on top of it. I said, I don't know. She said, I got my dog. He's a good cadaver. We'll take him up and you know, bring something down that was his and, you know, smell it. And he said, we'll take him out. I said, it's going to be hard. I said, he could be underneath one of the mansions up there on that pile of trash, old dump. Or he could be in a crevice someplace. Yeah. That's where they found different other people. Yeah. And I just thought, well, he could be out there. And so who knows what kind of gullies and stuff like that. And
you knew something was wrong at the time, and we didn't
I felt it. Yeah. I felt it was not good, because I did ask my cousin Bern. I said, "Is it good or bad?" When I got there, he said, "You come." And when I got there, and then he told me it was bad because he was missing. And I said, oh, gosh, I just didn't know how to feel. I just felt like...
Even today, it's just that...
And it was worse for my mom.
Yeah, that wrenching feeling right here.
Yeah.
Because usually if I feel something's bad, it goes through my whole body.
Yes. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand, like, God, something's not right. Something's not right. Something is not right. So
in all these years, I've felt it. There's something happened, I don't know what, and I'm not a believer in people that can foresee things unless they're natives. Yeah. And I mediums and stuff like that, if it's natives, I could.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
It's hard, because then you have, social media can be good, but it also can be bad, because then you get people up there, well, I know, come talk to me, I know the people, and I know where. It's just like... Oh, I was with them the last
and
it's hard, just people saying things.
They'll be throwing people under the bus and a lot of other things, too. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one dingy sister that said that. She said, "Oh, I was the last one that saw him, and we hitchhiked from the Reading casino up to Reading." And I go, and then they told me, "Well, your sister." I says, "No." It's where it stops there. I says, "I don't believe what she says." And I said, "There's a lot of things that happened with her. She lost her own boy recently. He hung himself, and." That's awful. So, and I know my boy was always Mom, take care of yourself, Mom. Or if, I was at a beer sometimes, he said, Mom, don't even do that. And I look at him myself, I'm over 21. He was
So
a
making sure
responsible
she doesn't get hurt.
person. He was a good person. My son was a good person. It's just that he would tell you right out. You know, like I should be the one to tell him behave and be good but no, he was telling me.
Yeah.
And so, and I thought, well, I said, he had a good head on him. He was responsible.
Is there anything that's going on now, like since you guys are starting to advocating about him and going to all these conferences? Has anything else come up for him?
I have a person, though, that called me from the Greenville Rancheria. I guess they have since they had that fire, they kind of like moved it to Chester. And they have another outreach down in Red Bluff. But this lady called me from Chester and wanted to help with assistance. She made posters like, let's bring them home. And she wanted my permission to have a poster put up for him. So I sent her all the information, gave her my consent, and that was working with Bam Bam in my tribe. I think I've only been 1 year or maybe 2 years with this here MMIP.
Yeah,
I think one. This is our second.
And they're, I said, I don't know what they offer. I said, they offer. I said, either pick and choose who you're going to help. And I said, I know they probably wouldn't help me because it's already been so many years.
Yeah.
But I said, I got 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot out. And I was trying to pull my foot out because I want to know, and I want closure.
Yeah.
In my heart, I want closure.
Yeah.
Well, it makes it hard, too, because we wouldn't even know where to begin to look.
Because
you don't even know where he's at, and you don't even know the remains. So that's really hard.
Yeah, and when the Redding Police Department, she said, we can start from Southern California up, and we can probably go to, into Reno, into the nearest town, the Arizona border and all that. And I said, I don't think my son went that far. I said, Placerville, and in this area in Nevada City.
Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
Santa Rosa. I said, that's about the only place. I said, or up in Modoc County, because that's where his father's side of the family lived is in Modoc County. But me, Shasta County all my life.
Yeah. Some of those natives, they don't go anywhere. They only stay where they know, so they don't take off far, different state or different county. Kind of same area they always stay in. But with him missing like that,
Yeah.
Well, it's awkward because, like I said, we wouldn't even know where to begin to even want to look. Just recently, in December, when we had all those floods up in Redding, that kind of could have brought stuff. I know that they were finding different things, but it's just
wow. Okay.
It's hard.
Well, I do hope something comes up and we find answers for him, and
Well, they should know where to begin, because if I knew back then when it first started, if they asked me for a DNA test then, it would probably been a lot easier or quicker.
Yeah.
Somehow to find him, because there's natives up there on the hill between Redding and Bernie that have never been unsolved cases, unsolved murders, missing people because they might have drowned or just something like that.
Yeah.
We've run across cases between Redding and up in Fall River Mills where we live, in between just that stretch.
Yeah.
Where there's been cases that people have been murdered, our native people murdered and dismembered and spread everywhere,
Yeah.
Not completely found or anything else, but like I said, those weird feelings. They have one area where they built a brand new bridge, and I kept going by and I go, "This don't feel right. Something's wrong."
Yeah.
I would stop there, and I'm just like, I don't feel something's not right.
Yeah.
And they found one of our cousin's skulls there. I'm just like, yeah. So,
Yeah.
so because you feel like I feel things and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was kind of good to hear them talk about the repatriation of bringing our people home.
Yes.
I'm a culture representative for my people, for the Maui people, and that's what I do.
Okay.
I just sat down just last 5-6 months ago.
Yeah, just in teaching our youth the importance of learning to identify the human remains from the animal remains. So because usually if I'm on a site and someone say, "Hey, where's Ginger at? We think we got something down here." I was like, "I'll go down and check it out." I go, yeah,
We're learning more too because of the fires. Southern California. Some of the summits that we've gone to, they're looking for people to go down and do remains all through the burn areas. And then when the forest fires, we're learning how to be able to get some kind of a program for even our cultural people to go out there and check those sites out.
Yeah.
Because you don't know a bad burn is going to burn in the ground, and there's going to be human remains coming up. So that's through all these fires. I mean, every year we have that big bad fires, and our native people are just now going on trainings and getting their certificates to be able to do that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that is important to learn, parts of the bone and what they are in case you run into things like that. Because I didn't think about, actually
I worked for the Forest Service, and my supervisor was all osteology. So that's where I started learning like in the 90s.
Okay.
So
That's
just trying
smart.
to keep pushing and teaching people.
Yeah.
I think
coming across things too is like, because our other sister was like, tell Ginger. I'm just like,
yeah.
And I just ran across that too. Now I know that with all this MMIP stuff, like we ran across some remains, and I knew they were really old, but because of all the missing and murdered people, they had to take them and check them out.
Yeah,
and it was a young man from way back.
Yeah.
That we found a job of. The teeth, you could tell that was still young.
Yeah.
Had a mole that didn't come through yet.
Yeah.
Some of the remains that I picked up and taken back to my area where my grandparents, great-great-grandparents, where all the natives had the village sites and these big springs there. And some of those people were young ladies, young girls, boys, a mom or their children. They were shot. They found the bullet holes in the skulls or the ribs or something like that, and then there was, they've been shot. And up there was a lot of vigilante things going on.
Yeah.
So I think that's what kind of made me kind of strong, because I already been introduced to things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was a caretaker for human remains for my people and replaced back into where they came from. My oldest brother, I'm the oldest one. Well, he went to Santa Fe, New Mexico for several years. He was trained, did a lot of training into all these kind of things. And when he came back, and then later on the tribes was just starting in, so he did a lot of site labeling and everything, going through the old site places and village sites and what their names were, and all the way from in our territory, and 200-mile square territory, and he's done that.
Okay.
And so then he introduced our whole family. Our whole family, there's 10 of us. We're all got involved.
Good.
So we mostly actually, or my family is the one that updated all these sites and all these places for our tribe.
Well, that's good. That's good work to do. I mean,
And it's been a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked Caltrans, and I worked under Far Northern, and everyone else did in the family.
So, what was Little Man's girlfriend's name? I never met her. Marie. Yeah, because
I don't know what her last name was, but I know she was from Santa Rosa. She was 2 months pregnant.
And did she have the baby or anything?
I don't know.
we don't know.
Heard.
We have not heard or anything. Just because it would be nice to know what she's seen and who she's seen. That would definitely help out. If we don't know if there's something's happened to her since then or not. I mean,
well, hopefully the 2 month when she was 2 months pregnant, that kid today or a man today would maybe, because you guys gave your DNA, maybe he might be looking, to see who his dad is. So hopefully he does something like that, and then that will probably hopefully bring some answers. Yeah, because I'm sure he's gonna most of the time they look to see who they're, and then with all the ancestry.com and all these other things, it's there. Yeah. So I've seen some family come out of nowhere before, even on my side of the family.
Who are you? Where you come?
You don't look like me. No, I'm just kidding.
It's that joke. Yeah. My brother from another mother or something like that. Yeah.
Well, that's the way it's what I. Yeah. The whole thing here is he's missing. I don't know nothing.
Yeah. Unsolved.
It was it went cold.
Yeah.
The case went cold.
And it's still open.
But it's still open.
Okay. All right. Yes. Well, we'll make sure that we get his name, James Little Man Wright, out there, and hopefully we could, something can come up for you, both of you to, ease your spirit.
They've checked through his Social Security number to see if he had worked anywhere, and no. Okay. And they also checked to see if he updated a driver's license or his California ID or things like that, and there's nothing.
Okay. Well.
So it's just like it stopped there, and I'm just praying that it'll start going.
Yeah.
And I will know if it takes me another 20 years, fine. But I just, if I don't ever find him, maybe I'll find him on the other side. On the trail there.
Right.
Hopefully we find him before you're gone, because if not, I'll still be looking. I'll continue to look. I will continue to look. Look.
Daughter too. That's his sibling.
Yeah.
His full blood sister.
Okay.
But she's not responsible.
Yeah.
Person, and.
How is she older or younger than him?
She's older.
Okay.
I tried to get her to go in with me and do a DNA. I said, at least have it on file.
Right.
And she never did show up. So I said, you're irresponsible and I'm mad at you. But I told her, at least I did it. It's in there.
Yeah.
Well, at least you would think for your own children, if something was to happen to your own children.
Yeah, right.
To say that the MMIP is a good thing.
Yes, it is.
It's a beginning.
Thank you for coming out there on stage and telling your story. Thank you so much.
All our people away, the whole big Turtle Island, are looking for their people.
Yes.
The sad go. Scouts all got to be a stronghold.
Yes.
Well, it's the way we look at our native people are always fighting for something, and we're fighting against geothermal, or we're fighting against this, we're fighting genocide. For that. The genocide of our people, what happened to our people. We can't change what happened in the past, but we can only make things better for the future. Or our youth. I work with a lot of youth.
Yeah. There's so many sides to us fighting. Fighting land, water, MMIP. We're fighting for, a lot of our people are dying from cancer, and there's just a lot of things that goes on, and we're all fighting on four sides all the time. Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, too. Thank you very much for coming in. Okay.
Thank you all for tuning in to the Fight for Existence podcast. If you guys want to keep up with the podcast in general, what you could do is follow the social media account. The Instagram account is going to be Fight for Our Existence. Again, that's Fight number 4 Our Existence. Go ahead and give that a follow. And if you guys have any questions for us, or you guys would like to be on the podcast, in the Instagram, there's a link. Go ahead and click that. No matter what kind of platform you guys listen to this podcast on, there's always that plus or that follow button. So go ahead and click that so you guys can get notifications when we upload our next episode. And if you guys are listening on Spotify, what you could do is go ahead and rate the show. And if you guys are only listening on Apple Podcasts, what you can also do is write a review for the show. Thank you all for tuning into the Fight for Existence podcast, and we will talk to you next time.